Grazie ragazzi, tutta belli. Welcome to Italia. This is the 5th Tinto Maps post, posted on the Tinto forums by Pavia, and as always, if you want to stay up to date and informed about everything coming out of Tinto regarding Project Caesar, then hit the subscribe button, and while you're at it, may as well drop me a comment and leave me a like. It really does help me out. But without further ado, let us move on to Tinto Maps number 5. Welcome to the 5th Tinto Maps, and we'll be sharing Italy. One comment before we start. We know I might be eager to discuss other regions that appear partially on the Devdar, such as the Balkans, but try and keep the conversation separated in different threads. Every region will get its own Tinto Maps, and we'll show them all show them all, and gather feedback in due time. This is definitely something I have noticed both in my own comment section and in the forums itself. Quite recently, there was a comment about how Wallachia is being done very badly, or Romania being done very badly, because of its really sliver of it being seen on the Poland-Lithuania post, and things about the northern border of Hungary being wrong, etc. But yeah, feedback is very useful, and they love feedback, and they will act on feedback, but it needs to be directed and kind of in the right place. So now we're talking about Italy alone. So, the situation of Italy in 1337 is quite interesting. The main power in the peninsula is the Kingdom of Naples, ruled by King Robert I, who is also a ruler of Provence, and a few minor countries in northern Italy. His efforts towards domination of Italy have made him the leader of the Guelph faction in Italy, which backs the Pope. Speaking of him, the seat of the Curia is at Avignon, and regaining control over the Papal States and moving it back to Rome might take some time and effort. Opposite to all of them, there is the Ghibelline faction led by the Signoria of Milan, ruled by the Visconti dynasty. They are backed by other important powers in the Italian region, such as the superb Republic of Genoa, the Duchy of Verona, ruled by the dynasty of Della Scala. There are also neutral powers, like the republics of Venice and Siena, although they could be attracted to join one of the factions. And we also have foreign powers that have already set a foothold in Italy, such as the Crown of Aragon, which has established a branch of its dynasty as the Kings of Sicilia, while also recently conquering some lands in Sardinia. Very cool information there indeed. Here we have, what is this, a map of the Guelphs. We have a map of the Ghibellines. Very cool indeed. Love it. They are international organizations, part of a situation. So these two systems will interact with one another, which is really, really cool. So moving on, we have the locations map mode, and I don't know if there's too much here to critique. This looks kind of awesome. I will say, I think the only thing that really stands out as being, oh, damn, that's how they're doing this now, is Venice. I feel like there needs to be some special mechanic for the city of Venice, specifically, because, I don't know, I feel like you should have to have somewhat of a navy to be able to siege Venice. Of course, it's not an island. It's not an island that you can't walk to if you're really, really determined, but it's on a lagoon, and you would be able to defend it with boats if an army tried to walk from Treviso. So, I don't know, I feel like some way of preventing maneuver based on, your maritime presence, perhaps. Something along those lines, I think, would be good. I'm not sure. We'll see. I'm sure we'll see at some point how we will have to deal with that problem, and potentially they will have some kind of unique solution for it. We also see a little bit of North Africa there as well, which is cool. There is an interesting density in Italy, especially in the north, where there's plenty of communes, the Italian city-states. You might also notice something a bit different from previous Paradox Grand Strategy games. Venice is not an island, but the location has lands around the lagoon. We aren't 100% sure this will be the final design, as we have a few ideas to try to keep its special position on an island inside the lagoon while addressing the issue of being too small to appear on the map. In this regard, we're open about feedback and ideas on the topic. Okay, my feedback and idea for Venice then would be literally blocking movement from other provinces towards it unless they have more maritime presence here than Venice. Whether that would work or not, I don't know. That is merely my thought. That's how I think it maybe could be. We have the provinces map mode as well, where we get to see where these locations are merged together, and even that, it does look more dense than in EU4. For sure it does, especially in the north. The north looks very, very dense indeed. But yeah, I think this looks awesome. 2 provinces for Corsica. We have 4 provinces for Sardinia, 4 provinces for Sicily. But yeah, this all looks very, very cool indeed. Any name suggestions about the provinces are well received as per usual. And then we get the terrain map mode, which we see the Po River Valley is looking exceptionally subtropical. We got some oceanic there, continental, cold, arid in a little bit north of Rome. I can't remember what that one's called, like Siena-ish, which is very interesting that it's just completely surrounded. I wonder what the terrain is there to make it as such. But yeah, lots of Mediterranean climate makes sense. Moving on, we have the topography, and it's just hills, interestingly, that is making it that way. All right, then. And then, of course, we have the vegetation. We've got grasslands, farmlands, some forests, some woods. Someone can, I'm sure, tell me the difference between those in the comments. Bit of sparseness going on, but very, very green. Not, yeah, lots of, there's quite a bit of farmland, actually, so that's pretty nice for Italy players, for sure. 3 usual terrain layers. Something you want to comment on is that we've been following the thread about revising flatlands and hills. Apparently there's a thread about that I must have missed. And we're trying to get more granularity in the topographical map with the help of Sulfur Aeron. Very cool indeed. I like that. This is, again, just confirmation that feedback helps, because that's awesome. Culture map mode. This is the interesting one. It's not just north and south. We have Piedmontese, Ligurians, Lombards, Venetians, Emilians, Tuscans, Umbrians, Neapolitans, and in the south we have Sicilians. Some Sardinians, Corsicans are split as well. I really do think we're certainly getting a new type of culture system. We're definitely not getting the same one that we have in EU4, where I have a primary culture. It has some, if I become an empire, then I accept all of the related cultures, and then I can accept individually extra cultures on top of that. We're not getting that. There is a 0% chance that we're getting that, and personally, I couldn't be happier, because I hate that system. There's got to be something new. There's got to be something different, where accepting cultures isn't just a straight cut-off of, oh, you've reached your allotted 4 out of 4. Sorry, can't do a 5th one. It sucks for you. Sorry about that. So yeah, hopefully we get something new there. Italy is also a region with a sharp cultural division and also plenty of minorities, although they don't appear on the map. There are Italki Jews or Greek and Albanian people in the south, among others. Yeah, the what are they called? Not Greki. It's something with a KI at the end. Yeah, but lots of Greeks still in the south of Italy. Basically from pre-bloody Roman times, honestly. They've been living there and holding on to their culture. And I'm pretty sure they're still there today, as in, people who are very Greek. I think they might speak Greek. I'm not sure about that one, but it's definitely a very Greek-y culture in the south of Italy. Religions, not too much in the way of surprise here. A lot of Catholic. Though I will say, the stripes. Why are we getting stripes here? Is this purely because the Pope is currently in Avignon and not in Rome? Is that particularly why we're getting this situation? Or is this just a new way of showing the graphics? I'm not sure. Another boring region, with more than 90% of the population being Catholic, with most of the religious minorities being Italkim Jews and Orthodox Greeks. We're considering implementing Waldensians, although adding more diverging Catholic heresies and confessions is a bit of a low priority for us right now. As a side note, it might catch your eye, the Kristjani of Bosnia, we'll discuss them later on in the Tinto maps devoted to the Balkans. Yeah, a side note, the side note that you told us to ignore at the start of the talk. Interesting. Raw goods. Let us have a look. There is wine. No one is surprised to see wine in Italy. Lots of wine there. Wheat. We got fish, marble. Makes sense. Some cotton and wool. Where do we have my favorite? Some spices, which is interesting. They were considering talking about splitting up spices, right? Because having a big drive to actually go and colonize Indonesia and the Spice Islands, to bring those goods back to Europe is like a huge driving force in the race for colonization. And having, I mean, even if there is a very, very small amount of spices in Europe, the fact is that they're counted as the same trade good when maybe they shouldn't be. So it could be that they should be split in two. So we have things like nutmeg and cloves actually having, that massive impact that they did historically. But yeah, we got more spices here. What we will see, though, very interesting, is a very disturbing lack of medicaments in Italy. Unless I'm completely blind and I'm not seeing them, I can't see any medicaments. Congratulations, Italy, you are medicament free. But yeah, no, interesting. I like seeing this for sure. A rich region with plenty of interesting raw materials, and we also have the market system. We have Genoa, Venice, and the Neapolitan markets. Interesting that this is closer to the Naples market than it is to Genoa, which I find kind of wild, honestly. Because surely this would have to go through this to get to here, which means that this is closer to this, so therefore maybe it's something to do with the countries. Let's go switch back to the country one. No, because parts of Arborea are in the Genoese market. I don't understand how that's there. I'd love to get a developer having a, explaining why that is the case. What is the mechanics behind that being there? We also have something interesting with this coloration here. Is this a case of it's currently in the process of switching between? That could be very interesting if that is the case. I'd be interested to see developer comments on that one as well. There are 3 market centres in Italy: Genoa, Venice, and Naples, which was a very, very rich country in 1337, the wealthiest of the region. As usual, take into account that 1, we don't script in the setup which locations belong to each market, which is why this is even more of a conundrum to me. That's why I don't understand this. If it was scripted, then I could be like, oh yeah, okay, well, it could be something historical that made a city here very, Naples coded. But it's not. It's all automatically assigned per mechanics. So that's why this is confusing me. The starting distribution is not final, and it might change if we do tweak the market access calculations over time. Makes sense. Now, the another very interesting map, and we have populations per country. So we are getting a 0 people in Venice. Okay, we're going to have to go and have a look at swapping that over. Milan, almost 1 million. The Pope's almost 1 million. Naples, 2.2 million. We can see a little bit. This is Aragon, right? Which has got, I think, 1.4. We've just seen it before anyway. But yeah, those are the populations per country. And yeah, Italy is an exceptionally densely populated place in 1337, and also today in the north especially. So this is not surprising to see these large numbers. And then onto the province density. That is lots and lots of big numbers. 187,000 in, I think this is Milano alone. 155,000 in Venice. In Napoli, 303,000. Rome, I think, is probably... it's one of these. It's probably the 107,000. We got obviously 156 here, and I think, and this is like Florence. But yeah, huge numbers as expected. And I'm glad to see that. Though I expect these numbers will dramatically shift in a downwards direction without too much delay due to the Black Death. I think Italy was particularly hard hit. Apart from Milan, Milan had some amount of saviorness from it as they recognized it early on and closed borders and such like that. There's around 10.5 million population in the Italian region as of now. Taking into account how divided the political landscape is, Naples looks scary. Alright, next up, British Isles. Let's go! Let's go! I'm looking forward to that one, of course. So, I want to pop on back over to this map right here. Because I want to know what country you guys are most interested in playing in this game, in Project Caesar, in EU5. Because for me personally, I have thought for a very long time that playing in Italy obviously is very fun in EU4, and it's also very, very fun in Mayo and Taxes. It's my favorite region to play in Mayo and Taxes. And because the, population density, the high population, the wealth, the potential of the region is so high in Italy, that's what made it so fun in Mayo and Taxes. And all of the same kind of mechanics that made it fun there are probably going to make it fun here as well. So while I still think, Britain or England, because, home country, and the Roman Empire, because, Romaboo, are going to be my first two campaigns, somewhere in Italy is certainly going to be my third. And it's probably going to be Milan, because I don't know, I quite like it. But I'd like to know what you guys think. Do you agree that Italy is going to be an exceptionally fun region to play in Project Caesar? Because, yeah, I do. I think it's going to be awesome. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. Anything here that is kind of curious and doesn't really sit right with you, then clearly, obviously, go onto the forums. There'll be a link in the description. And leave your feedback, because we've already seen proof that they do follow that feedback. So yeah, that's all I got time for today. Thank you very much for watching. Leave your comments in the comment section below. Again, a like will be very much appreciated. Subscribe if you haven't already. There will be a video on Sunday where I talk about all the feedback that Johan and Pavia and others have given to these threads this week. And I also have a planned video for probably Monday, Tuesday, where I talk about characters a little bit more. So stay subscribed for that, and I will see you then. Bye-bye.